The end of the season was here, and man, did we roll through the tournament come March. Next thing I knew, we was sitting in the Elite Eight, one spot away from the Final Four. They had us hosting our bracket, and in front of our home fans, we was one win away from being one of the best four teams in the nation. On the other side of the court, though, was the Arizona Wildcats. Now, we never really faced them this year, but we knew they were good and we knew they were thirsty for it just like we were. But me, I didn't care. I didn't care who was on the other side. It could have been Duke, UCLA, Arizona, heck, it could have been the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston Celtics. I didn't care. I was in front of my home fans with my squad, and I was going to do everything in my power to come get them and come get this dub. And as we warmed up, it was a fever pitch. Cameras everywhere, the crowd was buzzing. I could feel the intensity. I could feel the bright lights. I could feel the weight and the magnitude of this game. This was honestly the biggest game of my basketball career, and I was ready. I wasn't scared of the moment. I wasn't scared of who was on the other side. I wasn't scared of who they had to guard me or who was going to try to stop me from getting buckets tonight. It didn't matter. Guard, center, 1 through 5. I'm getting mine, and I'm making sure Colorado goes on to the Final Four. That is for damn sure. Coming out the gate, I knew I had to set the turn early, and I tried to rise up and slam it on boy, but unfortunately I missed it, and Arizona was off to the races. We were scrambling back on defense, and I had my man Boswell. He went right around me and hit the midi to give Arizona the early lead. I knew I had to get it back, and as we ran our pick and roll offense, I got right inside over their big men and just lofted it up to make it 4 up all around. I knew I needed my best because Arizona, they did not care. They was coming at us. They was getting foul calls and ones, and even when he put up a 3, he luckily missed that one, and I was off to the races as well. As I got on the wing, did a nice little jab step back behind the back, jumper right over his head to give us the lead. And I wanted to extend that lead in everything I could, but this man was trying to guard me up something heavy. Luckily for me, I was able to split right as the shot clock buzzer went off to give us a 3-point advantage. But just like that, the Wildcats came right back at us, and big man dunked honestly all over me to cut the lead back down to 1. I did not like that, but Arizona did not care as they hit that 3 to give them a 2-point lead. And it seems like we couldn't do anything on defense with this pick and roll as they hit another 3 to make it a 5-point advantage. Next thing I knew, when I came back in, we was down 28-19, and Boswell just went right around me again to make it a 30-19 game. I had to answer back. I did a nice little layup under reverse to cut it back down to 9. But Arizona, it seemed like every time we got a bucket, they just answered right back. And even though we had the tough lay, big man got the rebound and slammed it home to put them back up 11. All I could do was come right back down, set a screen for my guy, and luckily he hit the jumper to cut it back down to 9. But it seems like as this half ended, we just couldn't get within 9 or 7 points as I was able to finally hit a bucket there to go with the 10 that was in the half. But it seems like anytime we got close, it didn't matter because Boswell, boy, just sniped a 3 in my face. With 10 seconds left, I had to get us something. Get us back within 9, maybe 10 points. But I drove inside, hit the spin, and with 2 seconds left, got it up and in to make it a 35-29 game going into the third. But Arizona came right out the gate and hit a bucket to make it back to an 8-point game. As I was bringing it down, I knew I had to take over. My team needed me. I had to facilitate, and luckily I found my big dude for an and 1 to make it a 6, almost 5-point game. But Arizona just kept answering, and as we were down 39-27, we set the nice double screen for my dude Williams, and he sniped home the 3 to make it 39-35. But Arizona tried to answer with a 3 of their own, and as soon as I got out, I was going right back in, hit the nice little reverse lay to finally make it a game within 2 points. But Arizona answered right back with a buck of their own, and I had to go get another one to try to hit the step back, go around the guy, spin move, lay it up and in all over Boswell to get it right back down to 2. And this was a war, but we knew both of us wanted it. But I wanted it a little bit more, and I was going to do what I had to do as I pushed off, but he ended up grabbing me, and we ended up going to the line. I like that. I like getting my opponents into foul trouble, force them to hit the bench. But now I had to hit my free throws. And even though it was the third quarter, these shots felt big. These shots felt like I had to hit them. And luckily for me, I was able to. But now it was a 45-43 game, ending the third, and I was able to get around and finally get a dunk off to tie the game. I didn't get the sky once. These dudes were just hounding the paint. And finally, I had the little dude on me. And even though he tried to block it, I was able to hit it home going into the fourth. And now we were tied. And coach told us it was a clean ball game. 0-0. Win this quarter, and we're on to the Elite 8. Unfortunately for me, coach sat me on the bench to start the third, saying I needed my energy to close this game out. Coming back into the game, we were up by 4. We were right there. We just had to close the game out. But Arizona was not going away. And on defense, they was stifling. Unfortunately, I turned the ball over with us up by 1, and Boswell just hit a nice step back over me. And just like that, our 4-point lead turned into a 1-point deficit. But I wasn't giving up. I attacked the basket to give us the lead right back. And with 2 minutes to go, the Zona took the lead again. And at that point, everything kind of started to fall apart. We tried to run our pick and roll, but nothing was working. I think we were all just exhausted, while Arizona, they just kept pushing at us. And that lead, as the clock dwindled down on our season, just grew and grew until the buzzer sounded and I looked up and saw that we lost by 9. And it felt, I don't know even how to describe how I felt. I was upset. They were going to celebrate on our home floor. And my season was over. Now, I could come back and try to run it back, but everyone's eyes was on me going to the league. So this was it. This is my last game in Colorado, and it was watching Arizona hold up that Elite 8 trophy. After the loss, I went back home to hang out with some friends, and we discussed my future options, and there was a part of me that wanted to come back and play, run it back with the Colorado boys, but my friend had to keep my head on straight. This was a new opportunity for us, for me, an opportunity I never thought would have came. I could go into the league. I could be playing in the NBA. Just a year ago, I was just going to different small gyms around the country and playing ball. Now I can be everything that I dreamed of as a kid. Going to the league, being among the best of the best from around the world. I had to do it. So that time, I officially declared for the draft. But first things first, I had to go to Hungary, actually. Because my friend in this same heated argument said I had to go rep my country. I had to go do the thing and bring back gold for the U19 squad. It'd be nice to show the scouts as well what I can do on an international level. That 1 year of organized ball wasn't just a fluke, that I was one of the best guards coming into the draft. So I packed up my bags, I got on a plane, and the next thing I knew, I was in Hungary playing for Team USA. And who knew that journey was going to take us all the way to the U19 finals? And my biggest matchup, literally and figuratively. We made it to the finals and we had Spain. And there was this big man they had, Izan Almanza. My boy got up on the podium and talked a whole lot of shit, saying that I wasn't proven, that I didn't even win in college, that he was this big man that was the most successful big man in U19 history. Heck, the successful player in U19 history. And he was going to win another one. And as that circulated and everybody started talking, I just had to focus up. My boys was telling me, you gotta talk back. You gotta say something. And at that moment, I didn't want to. I wanted my game to do the talking. I had enough eyes on me as it is. But as I got into that elevator to go back down to do my own press conferences for the finals, guess who I ran into? That's right. I ran into Mr. Almanza. And he gladly allowed me and my boys to get into the elevator. And when I tell you, this man had the audacity to tell me that I know about the Spanish national anthem. And how it was a great song to listen to while they got their gold medals. Something clicked in me, That competitive nature in me just absolutely sparked. That wolf, that dog woke up, and I knew I had something to say to him. So as we walked off, got changed, and they asked me my questions, I made it very clear. Despite my accomplishments or lack thereof, I'm the best guard to step into the U19 tournament. Team USA is the best team in this tournament. And when it's said and done, we're going to be holding that gold, and we're going to be doing our own thing. And Mr. Almanza can sit there and listen to the Star Spangled Banner as we got our goals put around our neck. And at the end of the day, nothing else was going to be said. And I got up and walked off because I knew it was game time. And just like any other game, whether it was at Colorado or our local gym, I didn't care who was on the other side of that court. I didn't care who was guarding me. Mr. Almanza could have guarded me himself. You step to me, you getting dropped. And I don't care that we're in Hungary on national, international television, fans roaring, some for us, some for Spain. I zoned everybody out. Heck, I didn't even listen to the coach when he was giving pregame instructions. All I knew, it was time for me to go to work, and it was time for me to drop this kid off, drop this team off. Because whether it's Spain, Hungary, anywhere in Europe, Asia, Australia, even back in the States, you gonna know my name. You gonna know Jai Wells. And I'm gonna drop this team off. I simply told my boys, hey, give me the ball, let me rock and roll, and I'm gonna put on a show for y'all. But hey, all I could see was red. And it wasn't the Spanish jerseys. Cause that boy done pissed me off. And I immediately went to work, hitting a nice spin jumper to answer the opening bucket from Spain. And I knew from that point on, it was go time. Over and over, I just imagined that first shot going in. And when I saw it, oh yeah, it was that time. Especially with little dude on me, I just kept taking him to the basket, and that time got me an and one to tie this game up. And as the big man tried to shoot his threes and was clinking, I just got the ball and said, let me drive all the way to the basket and do what I do best. I didn't care if they was swiping at my head, swiping at my arms. I was going straight to that basket, and I was showing them, y'all too small, y'all too weak. Y'all can't hold me. And as the game continued, I just continued to find my spots, hitting nice jab steps, playing off the screen and rolls. And this time hit a nice little fader over the outstretched arm and just kindly run back on the other side. And no matter what, I had to get my boys involved too, as George hit a nice corner three to extend the lead. And as you can see, it was becoming a blowout. And we wasn't even at the half yet, and I was flirting with 20 points in a half. And as we entered the third, they were just feeding me. And that pass right there, that was a pretty dot over the big man. And I went straight up over the little man. But as the game wind down, and I was in my zone, nothing else mattered. I was representing my country proud. And no matter what, I was even hitting my threes. And I could see the Spanish coaches getting frustrated. And I knew this was the icing on the cake as I hit a fading three in the corner as the buzzer. It sounded, and honestly, I don't know how I hit that shot. I just threw something up. And I mean, I guess when they say when you in the zone, you in the zone. And of course, I had to let the Spanish coach know, don't let your boy talk trash, because you know what? He gonna have to back it up. But I had one more piece left for the Spanish crowd as old boy tried to go up and got rejected. And as the big man gave me the ball, all I could think was getting to the basket. So I had a nice little drive tween, put my shoulder into his chest, and laid it up and in. And as that final buzzer sounded, emotion just washed over me. My first accomplishment in organized ball was a gold medal. And as I shook hands with Almanza, I let him know, hey, that Star Spangled Banner sound pretty nice. I guess you get to hear it now. But at the end of the day, I got a gold medal, man. But now it's time to focus on the combine.